So we started our journey on Friday, October 11th. As you can see, we are getting ready to head to the airport, and this is our team. I was a little anxious getting to the airport, but once we got there, everything flowed smoothly. So we left Detroit on the 11th at 6:45 p.m. and we connected through Paris, got there at 8:25 a.m., which was an 8-hour flight. And then our connection leaving Paris at 11 a.m. into Nairobi at 8:40 p.m. That's another 9 hours. As you can see, we're smiling, but we are tired, and also most of all thankful to had arrived in Nairobi, which is the capital of Kenya, safely. This is our first full day. We are on a bus to where we are on our way to our host church for worship. As we're driving, I took a couple of pictures of just the environment of how the nation of Kenya is, the country. And there are people that sell things everywhere. As I mentioned in my intro video, there's a lot of poverty, but the people have the biggest hearts. So we arrived at World Gospel Church, which is the host church. Pastor David is the host pastor, and they were so hospitable. They were just the nicest group of people that you will ever meet. We joined the first Kenya team from Brightmoor. They were leaving out the same day that we arrived, and we just had an awesome time of worship with our brothers and sisters from another part of the world. Jesus, not my body. I speak the holy name, Jesus. Also at the church, we had an opportunity to witness their children's Sunday school and how they worship, which was awesome.
What does that mean? You're going to obey your parents and you obey the laws of God, isn't it? You obey your parents, your teachers, your elders, isn't it? And you sing it as you mean it and you dance. Are you ready? Yes. I will obey the Father and do. I will obey right away. Never asking why, never will I sigh. I will obey right away. Yes, sir. This side. I will obey the first time on tour. I will obey right away. Never asking why, never will I sigh. I will obey right away. Yes, sir. This side. I will obey the first time on tour. I will obey right away. Never asking why, never will I sigh. I will obey right away. Yes, sir. This side. I
appreciate our children.
After the worship, the children had an opportunity to come up and quote their favorite Bible verse, which I thought was awesome. This is Pastor David, the pastor of the church as well as the director at World Serve. Following our worship experience, we had an opportunity just to fellowship with the children and those of the ministry for a little bit before we went into our next session. This is Pastor David's wife. Our next session was with the women of the church, and this part was so phenomenal. Each of the women have a business, and they've created a community like a bank to where everyone puts money into the bank, and then they are able to withdraw or take a loan from the bank when it's needed, whether it's for their business or if it's for their family. They created a community to where they support each other. The awesome thing about this experience is watching these women just pour into each other. It wasn't about how much they had or how much they didn't have. Everybody put in money every month, and when they did not put in money because they agreed to be a part of this organization, they were fined. And then also those that had taken out loans, if they did not pay back their loans in a timely manner, they were also fined. So it taught the women, number one, to build each other up and to be a support to one another, and then also to be accountable for what it is they say and they promise that they're going to do. So they literally have their own bank to where if there is ever a need, they have support. Following that session, we all broke out into different groups to where we had an opportunity to have a one-on-one dialogue with a smaller group of the women from the ministry, and not only from the ministry but from the community. So as I spoke about the banking system of how they support, it's not just the church, but it's their entire community, those that are in surrounding areas. This is a picture of the group of women that I was blessed to have a conversation with and lead the dialogue. This woman right here was just awesome. I had an opportunity to also pour individually into her directly because she had somewhat of a similar experience with me as far as losing a spouse tragically. But I am so thankful that even in the midst of the miles and the cultural differences and the what we will say is socially different because of the lifestyle I'm afforded to live here in the States versus the lifestyle that those in Kenya live, that there is still always common ground, especially as women and as Christians, that we all go through pretty much the same thing. The Bible talks about that there's nothing new that's under the sun. And having an opportunity to share with this woman and her share with me her story, it just made me realize just how far the love of God goes. And sometimes we take for granted in our small little world that only God is working in us, working through our situations. A lot of times we cry and we pout and we allow the situation to overtake us to a point where we think, woe is me, it's only me. Baby, millions or thousands of miles away, I don't know how many miles, not millions, but thousands of miles away, someone shared the exact same story that I had, and yet and still God was faithful to us both. Flew into Nairobi, which is the capital of Kenya, and as you can see, I would never complain about the streets
One of them is in the street. Two of them in the street. He's like, the ain't gonna move.
Not bad. People that kind of get that just walk around the streets.
Wow.
The most income, especially for the woman. And again, these are just a couple still shots of various markets that we passed as we were on our way back to our hotel for the evening. One thing I can say is that as much as we look at these pictures and we feel that they are a nation that is impoverished, I have to reiterate their love for God, number one, and just their endurance that they don't even see poverty. They're more wealthy, in my opinion, than many of us, including myself here in the States, because their heart posture is that one of being thankful for what they have. To end our first day, we arrived at the Hotel Cadillac for a debrief before we had dinner with the Maasai tribe. They are a warrior tribe in Kenya that actually goes out and game hunt, as well as protect various areas within Kenya, and they stayed with us at the hotel the entire week that we were there. And gotta tell you, I felt pretty safe with those guys there. They actually carry their swords and their spears with them at all times. So that is the end of day one, and I will share day two soon.